Welcome everyone to another Northgard video on this channel. Today I want to talk with you about the beta patch notes for the new Ragnarok update that will come for Northgard. I don't want to go over the whole patch notes here because I think that quite a few things might still change in the next week, so I don't think it would make too much sense to cover all of that right here. And I rather want to focus on the new content that you can expect with the new update and that won't most likely change all too much in the next weeks. So I'm gonna read over the texts right here for you, and if I feel like I got something to say to something, I'm gonna let float a little bit of my opinion in it. The map you'll be playing on when choosing Ragnarok is completely devastated. Your path towards your opponents may well be guarded by dangerous creatures. The center of the map is occupied by a new special tile, the Volcano. Because the earth has been ravaged, you won't find any fertile spots to build your usual farms. Fishes and deers will be the possible food source. I think the Bear clan might be quite happy about that, because the chance to actually get a double fish should be a little bit higher than on the original map of Northgard, so I think the harpoon strategy could get way more relevant in the next future. But we're going to hear a lot more about the new Ragnarok map in the following texts, so let's just go on right here and talk about the Volcano. The Volcano is one of the new tiles that are introduced into Northgard. It is a special tile that cannot be tamed or colonized. The Volcano will enter into eruption and throw out molten rocks all over the map. Some of them will fall into your territory. You'll then have the possibility to mine them. If you manage to mine these rocks completely before 4 months, you'll be good. If you don't, rock golems will spawn from these rocks and attack your clan members occupying the tile. The number of molten rocks falling onto your territory will vary depending on the number of tiles that you have colonized. If you didn't manage to mine the rock completely before the deadline, the golem will spawn missing a few HP. Golems have damage on time attacks that will burn their aggressors for a few seconds. And if you saw my first video about the patch where I just played a little bit along with that, you saw already that I lost my rant because of that, because I didn't realize it. I can only say you that you shouldn't play around with these guys, because they have 100 HP, 15 resistance and 15 attack. So if that actually happens and you don't happen to have the army up already, you should really mine those rocks and try to get out of this attack. The Blood Moon is a new event that got implemented, and there's not too much around right here because it seems to be still work in progress. The idea is to give every unit 50% more attack power when you're outside of your territory while this event is just happening. That will give attackers, of course, a really big bonus, and even defending players should watch out to maybe pop out an army for themselves and try to get a fight outside of their territory to maybe on a neutral territory to fight on an even playing field. I only had one Blood Moon until now, but in my experience the Blood Moon were for around 2 or 3 months. But I think nothing is really set in stone in there because they didn't wrote too much about right here, and maybe that is going to be changed a lot. While this seems to be still work in progress, let's just jump to the next one, the Ancient Graveyard. The Ancient Graveyard is another new tile introduced in Ragnarok. You'll have the possibility to assign 2 lore masters to study the graveyard, gathering lore. Once you've completed the graveyard study, 2 spectral warriors will join your army. Spectral warriors have a very high defense and will be very useful to help you clean your surroundings of any enemies. However, because Vikings are highly superstitious, your clan's happiness will be reduced by 10 as long as they are in your territory. So it's definitely a high price, high reward to have those in your territory, but usually you will try to have them outside of your territory and usually just bring them into your territory to heal them. How they are right now, they are the perfect unit to tank basically everything for you, and tower fire doesn't really seem to make damage to them. Like, of course it does damage to them, but their resistance is so high that you won't really see it. But what can help you a lot if you can get your hands on the Ancient Graveyard can also hurt you a bit when the Fallen Sailors attack you. So let's talk about the Fallen Sailors. During their long journey towards Northgard, countless Viking ships have sunk into the great depth. But Ragnarok is here and the Fallen Sailors come back to haunt the living. Fallen Sailors is an event that could occur at any time during the game. You'll need to deal with a few ghost warriors attacking your shores. As seen previously, they have a very high defense, and as long as they are in your territory, they'll lower your happiness by 10. And this can really get a pain if they attack you at an early time, because it's really hard to clear them out, and while they are in your territory they'll lower your happiness by -10, so you will basically not produce any villagers anymore. Axe throwers won't make too much damage to them, so it won't make too much sense to micro them around your tile. Also, that would take a lot of time, so if you would even manage to get a tower down in the tile and micro the sailors around with a villager, it would take so much time and it would drag your happiness down all the time that I really think you should bite any bitter apple and just send a few villagers or maybe your war chief there and try to get rid of them. This is a really refreshing change, and I don't think you will see this on the original Northgard map, but in general it's a really cool event and something new to deal with. Talking about something new to deal with, let's talk about the new Cobalt. Starting at year 2, when the numbers of Cobalts reaches 7, they can send 4 of them towards the adjacent neutral tile and colonize it. They start with 1 tile and get up to a maximum of 4 tiles under their control. If there isn't any neutral tile close to their territory, they may attack a player's tile. On neutral tiles, they do not fault the wildlife but build their village around it. They cannot colonize active wolf dens or dragger camps, nor the other neutral factions tile. So the Cobalts will definitely be a lot different than before. And if you knew them before as just the nice guys that were a little bit around on the map and maybe took a little bit of trade for you, they will now maybe actually attack you if they don't find any other neutral tile to colonize to. So the time for the nice Cobalt sitting at the top of the map waiting for the wolf clan to clear them out is over, and they will now maybe even be a little bit annoying on small maps. There's definitely another faction that wants to annoy you a lot more than the Cobalts could ever do. Let's talk about the Mirkalfars. Man, I hope I got that name right. The Mirkalfars are the new faction in Northgard. These dark elves are particularly aggressive and strongly opposed to your presence on their continent. Every year they launch attack at random players, and once they're in your territory they start stealing your resources, and you'll be dealing with a -5 in food, wood and crowns. So when they attack you and they are in your territory, you should really get rid of them as fast as you can, and I think the attacks of them could maybe be a little bit too early, since I would actually say that if they start attacking at 802 that could be a good way, but the attack in 801 can really bring you out of the game because they hit like trucks. Maybe that won't stay as it is also, but just right now they hit for 20 damage, what is almost as hard as a berserker at the start. To counter their attack, you'll have 2 separate choices. You can attack their camp, getting some of the stolen resources back after killing the last one of them, what I think is right now 300 of every resource. Or you can trade precious resources with them, stone or iron, so the ones you really don't want to give away, and befriend them so that they'll be nice to you, I would say. So I didn't really test it out, but I think that they don't attack you anymore if you have a good relationship to them, but it actually takes a little bit of a while and a little bit of your stone and iron, but sometimes you can actually have a little bit bonus done on Ragnarok based on how often the Volcano will actually spit out the stones and how many of them you can achieve. The Volcano is always really a two-sided sword. So a lot of very interesting changes are coming into our way with the new Ragnarok update. Maybe comment down below what you think about them, what you think about the Mirkalfars, the Volcano or something like that. Or if you think that some of these things might need a little change to make them a little bit more enjoyable. There's also been a military experience system been implemented, but that may change quite a bit in the next week, so I don't want to get all too deep into that. Or let's rather say I'm gonna completely leave it until the patch note review video when the patch actually comes out. I hope you're just as happy about the new update as I am and that you enjoyed this video. Maybe see you back at the next one, and bye bye everyone. Ciao!